So, Xbox wants to be the Rolls-Royce of gaming. Okay. Could possibly work. It could. Let's check out this little video here. I have to finish watching it. I saw a guy earlier, and he's the only guy that I've seen. He was a very small YouTuber, but he had a really good setup. So I can tell he's looking to do some good things on YouTube. But it's in my history. I got to go back and watch it. But he swears this is the next level. This is going to be like Xbox is coming at y'all hard, and you better jump on board because they're going to leaving everybody behind. So I'm like, all right, I'll check your video out, bro. But let's check this out first.
The next Xbox will be very premium, very high-end, according to Xbox President Tyrone.
Curated.
We may be looking at a console that costs $1,000 or more. We'll dig into that on Next Gen Console Watch, coming up after these messages. Welcome back to Next Gen Console Watch, our show discussing all the latest gaming hardware. I'm Daemon, and as always, I'm joined by Ryan McCaffrey, host of Podcast Unlocked, and Max Scoville, host of Podcast Beyond. And Microsoft is dropping little hints about its next gen Xbox, suggesting it will be ultra premium hardware. Microsoft has promised next-level performance, cutting-edge graphics, breakthrough gameplay, and unmatched compatibility, and said everything it's working on will be fully compatible with users' existing Xbox game library.
Okay.
But how much will it cost, and just how powerful will it be? In an interview with Mashable, Xbox President Sarah Bond talked in vague terms about what Microsoft is going for with its next-gen console, but did suggest...
She says, looking at the handheld, you have an idea of where we're going with it, so...
a premium hybrid PC and console. So Bond said, the next-gen console is going to be a very premium, very high-end, curated experience. You're starting to see some of the thinking we have in this handheld, but I don't want to give it all away. That's a reference to the recently released ROG Xbox Ally X handheld, which costs $1,000. So, Ryan, how do you interpret very premium, very high-end?
I like the way he's grinning.
These executives choose their words very carefully.
Yes, they do.
They know that people are paying attention.
And sometimes they don't. Just ask the other Xbox dude when the Xbox One came out.
And the fact that she chose the word very as another adjective to throw on the premium there just makes the dollar sign amount go up.
You That's damn right, funny. Son.
Yeah, it does gel with kind of what's been rumored, what's been going around for a while, that this thing, the next Xbox console will in fact be more of a hybrid PC/console where you might be able to connect to multiple storefronts. We are seeing exactly that right now in the ROG Xbox Ally, like she referenced and as you just mentioned, Daemon. So I think they're showing us exactly what they're doing. And next step is to take it to a set-top box. And if the Ally X is $1,000, granted, yes, it's a smaller form factor, so there's cost associated with that. But you can bet a set-top box. I mean, I would conservatively put the floor for this thing at $1,200, if in fact we're correct, and that Microsoft is making a...
That's what everybody's saying. 1,200 on up. That's what everybody's saying. And if it can do everything that they say it can do, plus more, if it's going to be gaming plus a Windows computer, basically, then, of course, I mean, there's already gaming PCs. You can go to Walmart and give a $1,200 laptop PC, gaming PC or whatever, so
hybrid console PC, which, Daemon, I'm sure we'll get into. It kind of begs a lot of other questions.
So how do you feel about that? Because if this is their out there going, it really would sort of differentiate themselves from PlayStation and Nintendo, obviously. And I don't know. I don't feel that mad about it. Because it's like, if they're going to create...
I'm so curious. I feel like they're going the Neo Geo route. I really do. I'm like, they're looking to be the most expensive, premium gaming entertainment possible. I remember Neo Geo when it came out, and Neo Geo's cartridges was like this big. And it was like, I just remember people saying, when you buy Neo Geo, you're literally buying that damn arcade machine and you're bringing it home. That's basically what it is. That's why it's so expensive. You know what I mean? So, and I knew not one person, and I didn't know anyone that knew someone that had a Neo Geo. So, you know what I mean? But you know, at this day and age with our phones, but how much our phones cost, our phones cost more than these gaming consoles. And our phones can do more than consoles can. So if they end up doing some hybrid of a PC and a gaming console that can do more than just game, would it be worth the price? Probably. But people are conditioned, to pay a certain amount for a gaming console. So let's see if it works. They're going to have to start conditioning. They're conditioning people now. We're dropping that statement. So let's see if it works. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see.
A nice PC, close to a high-end PC. That's just an easy to use Xbox experience at your TV.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what the price would cost. I don't know. I don't feel that worked up about it. How about you?
No, I ain't gonna lie. Okay. Even before, like I'm doing well financially, but even before I left the sales business, I was already doing six figures there. So, I had the money then if I wanted to buy something higher premium. I've always been the guy who wanted to kind of shell out the extra bit of bucks so that I could cover everything. Maybe even future-proof myself, like I have a Wi-Fi 7, mesh system in the house and everything. And, so that, like my phone right now don't do it, but it does Wi-Fi 6E. I'm recording on a phone that actually does do it, Wi-Fi 7, but, I wanted to switch over to it, and it's not switching over as easily as I'd like it to. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my point is, I went and got the LG G4 or whatever. You know what I mean? I always like to kind of future-proof myself and get the upper scale thing, and I'd be down with that if it's worth it. I'll pay for it. People save up $1,200 to get a pair of sneakers, which I do not see that being worth that. But everybody's got their thing. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their thing. I like tech to a certain extent, and I'm willing to, I don't want the PS5 Pro at this moment because the price and the microscopic zoom in of the extra quality that they claim it gives you isn't worth it to me. So, you gotta weigh things, like I got a great phone. I've seen the foldables out there. I thought about getting them. I'm like, ooh, the bigger screen. Ooh, $1,500. Should I get that? I got it. Should I? I can, but it just doesn't. So like the foldables and everything they can do, this is like that for me. It's like, is it going to be worth it though? I don't know. But if they make something that can put you in the PC master race, because everyone wants to be there. And it's a console you can put right under your TV and plug and play and maybe do some more complicated things. Maybe it'll work.
I feel the same way. Honestly, it's like, look, they've acknowledged, Phil Spencer has acknowledged that they have acknowledged that they lost the console war. Like, it's over. And the numbers have unfortunately continue to get worse for them this generation. So, but what we also know to be true, even separate from Microsoft's own mistakes that have led them to being in last place in the so-called console war, is that consoles are not growing PC gaming is growing. And so to me, this hint that she's given here suggests that they are not even going to attempt to compete with Sony or Nintendo with their next generation hardware. And instead...
Yeah, see, guys, I took a hiatus after the initial PlayStation. I did buy a PlayStation 2, a used one, though. See, as you can see, I wasn't as into gaming. I also bought a GameCube. Now, that's when I bought both of those, I was starting to leave gaming. I was entering young adulthood, jobs, bills, problems, women, dating, all that. It was like it was a certain, so I was interested more in getting a woman and a good job. And it was just, and that happens with a lot of guys. So a lot of young guys also, they get a serious relationship, they get engaged, they get married, and they have kids. And a lot of guys leave gaming, not because they truly want to, but it's just because other things in life, the stressors of life that they have to take care of, become more of a priority. And that's kind of what happened with me. So even though I got a 360 because of Street Fighter 4, specifically for Street Fighter 4. That rekindled my spirit for gaming a little. But I didn't buy much after that. I bought a Castlevania game that I didn't play much at all. I remember having a giant werewolf was like the first boss. Y'all would know what I'm talking about. And then I got a PS3. And I did play several games for the PS3, but I just wasn't into gaming as much. I still was kind of floundering with it. And I didn't truly come back until you guys urged me to come back. And I finally bought a PS4, the Dark Knight, the Arkham Asylum, the Arkham Knight bundle, Batman 1. That's when I finally got back into it. So I had taken a huge hiatus with gaming. But I noticed in the PS4 era, maybe it was in the PS3 era, but I noticed in the PS4 era, I started hearing more and more about PC being better. Now, PC, I know they're better, but that's when I started to notice the growth. Maybe it was before that, but I've noticed, like before, it was like, you get PC guys or whatever, but it's all about, Nintendo, PlayStation, or Sega, or Xbox. No one really was ever talking about PC. But I've noticed since PS4, for me, that's when I noticed. I was like, oh, like PC is really growing. Like it's a thing now. So yeah.
As you noted, Daemon, they are going for a sort of set-top PC, almost what Steam machines tried to do years ago, which will probably run, again, a more evolved version of the software that's on the ROG Xbox Ally X now. There's an Xbox layer, but then you can connect to other storefronts, and they are going after the growing PC market. So it'll be a very, very expensive console, but maybe a very, very affordable
PC,
relatively potent, powerful gaming PC. And I think that could be wise. Now, you can trace this all the way back and say, well, they would never even be in this position if they hadn't made all the mistakes in the last two generations. Maybe they'd still be going toe-to-toe with Sony, and they'd have a stronger place in the console market. Totally get that. We can have that discussion. But they are where they are because of the choices they've made. And given where they are, this actually could be the best path forward for them. And it could be I don't know if it's the best path forward for the industry in the sense of, will Sony have any real competition at all, kind of in the traditional console space? Now, this next Xbox, even if it is a hybrid PC/console, it's still going to run most of the same games that the PlayStation 6 will, but
there's an added irritation with dealing with all the settings and different drivers and stuff like that with PC gaming. It's one of the reasons why I've never really gotten into it. Listen, I personally would pay top dollar for a premium plug and play gaming system that did everything. You know what I'm saying? Like it was up there with the master PC crap. Okay, I would. All the 1800 frames per second and everything, all the laser shading, daytime, nighttime clock and seasons and all that stuff. I would pay. I would if they made one. They don't have to make many because it's kind of like a PS5 Pro. Like if there was a if they made like a PS, like say they made a PS6 Pro and PS6 Elite or PS6 Masterclass. They don't have to call it Master Race because, that would be controversial. Call it Masterclass. The PS6 Masterclass. Something that could compete with the high-end PC gaming rigs out there. Hell yeah, I'd get it. Hell yeah. I would. I ain't got to hear nobody's mouth and every upgrade. Now you ain't got, that technology, is always, so there's always some new, and that's another thing. There's always some new damn graphics card, another component that you gotta get, like, it's always something. It's one of the most expensive hobbies I think people can have amongst normal people, other than billionaires having their supercar collections and stuff like that. It's like you go broke trying to keep your rig the top of the line. It's another reason why I have it, I tell you this, I think it would be actually a cool, I don't know how well it would work, but if they had okay, so you got PS6 Pro, and you have PS6 Masterclass, right? And with Masterclass, it also gets upgrades when it's time. So whether you want to do it like you pay a fee to get upgraded, or if maybe it was like an insurance plan where you're paying like a monthly fee for Masterclass, and every time it's time to upgrade, you get it for not for free. You've been paying that monthly thing, but maybe you get other perks with it too, right? And you take it to a specific Sony certified shop and they upgrade your PS6 Masterclass rig for you. Boom, you get guarantees with it, warranties with it, get service there. I think that would be a damn good idea. And you don't have to deal with all the other stuff of doing it yourself or building a PC, none of that stuff. Out the box, built, and it comes with upgrades as long as you keep, your subscription up or something like that. I think that will work out too. I'm just spitballing here. I'm brainstorming, but I would pay for something like that. But they got the new graphics card for the PS6 Masterclass. You know what I'm saying? Y'all about to go do it right now, B. About to go into the store right now.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it plays off.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I joked earlier today when we were talking about the show that they want to be the new Neo Geo.
See?
It's not that different, actually. In the 90s, the Neo Geo was the ultra premium.
Somebody was watching me.
It provided the exact arcade experience at home. I think it was like $700, and the games were $100 or $200 each. Yep. But we gamers weren't mad about that. We dreamed of being able to afford a Neo Geo and having the best experience possible. Max, rumors about the PlayStation 6 suggest something completely different. That it would come in 3 models: a base PS6, a PS6S that would be a little less powerful but also less expensive, and then also a dockable handheld version that would be somewhere in between and compete directly with Nintendo Switch 2. Completely different.
I don't want that, because then then there's always that downgrade that we have to deal with. I just want the premium experience, period, personally. And people complained about the Xbox Series S a lot for handicapping the games that were coming out this generation.
From what we're sort of hearing Microsoft would plan. What do you make of all this?
I think they've always been playing slightly different games. I mean, it's funny because the Xbox began as a direct Xbox. It was a way of streamlining with the Windows gaming experience on a console, and it seems almost like they're sort of moving back that direction. Sony hasn't really altered course that much, aside from allowing some of their games to be playable on PC, which presumably, if this rumored premium Xbox thing is open to multiple storefronts, you could conceivably get Steam games on there, so you'd be playing Ghost of Tsushima or whatever on a Xbox product, which we're already seeing with the ROG Ally. I guess I'm curious, where would it fall if this Xbox thing is sort of a hybrid PC Xbox experience? How much of a PC will it be? How much of an Xbox will it be? How is it going to kind of connect those dots? Because the second it becomes just unabashed,
it's going to have to be more console than PC, or at least appear that way, because people love the easy plug and play of console gaming. That's the appeal.
A PC, I don't think it's competing with Sony at all, because Sony makes this streamlined consumer facing sort of walled garden. Like you don't have to worry about drivers and system updates and turning off the widgets in your taskbar or whatever, which is, I know some stuff that some people checking out the Ally X for the first time were like, this doesn't really feel like Xbox. This feels kind of like Windows 11, because it is. And I mean, that's all very well and good. Like, I think there's ups and downs to both of these approaches. I don't know. It's interesting because like Sony and Nintendo are playing very different games, but obviously Sony, if they start putting out a hybrid console that is competing with the Switch, that is some amount of competition there, even if they're...
Yeah, they want that share. They want to compete with Nintendo. I get it. You're trying to corner it all. So handheld isn't for me. I don't know if I would ever buy a handheld. Maybe. Yeah, you take it with you on travel, so you can dock it in your hotel room and play games. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know why it's so big in Japan. I don't know why it's so big. I don't know why handheld gaming is so big. I've always loved the console experiences, sitting down on your couch in your comfortable living room, your family room, and playing with yourself or a friend. Gaming on the run isn't for me. I know I hardly ever download anything on my phone to play,
Kind of trying to appeal to entirely different markets. Daemon, to your point about the Neo Geo, yes, I think that there is room for premium stuff in this market. There is the possibility of having, very high end stuff. The key difference between, what maybe didn't work out so hot for the Neo Geo in the 90s and what companies are capable of doing now is they can get a better sense of exactly how many units they need to manufacture. Yeah. I know that, companies will get some flack if they put up like, crowdfunding, campaigns. People are like, why do you need to make a Kickstarter? And it's like, no, really, they need to figure out exactly how many of these things they need to make so they're not losing money by them sitting on store shelves. I mean, that's pretty much how Valve handled the Steam Deck. They took pre-orders, they figured out exactly how many people are going to give them exactly how much money to make these things. And that way it's not, it's not this kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I could very easily see Xbox take a similar approach where they're like, hey, you want to get this thing? Here's how much it costs. Here's where you can sign up. I mean, that's kind of what happened with the ROG Ally,
Yeah. Also, we've done it, ladies and gentlemen. After 5 years of the show, we got a Neo Geo commercial on Next Gen Console Watch. So, and there was much rejoicing. Ryan, is there any chance, or the Asus ROG Xbox Ally X it's out, apparently, doing well according to Xbox. Any chance Microsoft takes the same approach with the next Xbox as it does with the Ally X, meaning let a third party make it while Xbox provides the software?
No, not yet. I mean, that they shot that down.
That reminds me of like the 3DO. Wasn't there like a Panasonic one, and there was another one, right? They had you had the same system made by two different companies or something like that, 2 or 3 different companies. That was interesting. I didn't know anyone that had a 3DO either.
Hard recently, saying that in no uncertain terms, they'll be making their own hardware developed internally. They've got this long-term partnership with AMD. So, might someone besides Microsoft make the next generation handheld, whether that's just Asus again with a successor to the ROG Ally X, entirely possible. But yeah, I think as far as the home machine itself, that is going to be a Microsoft designed and Microsoft built product.
Gotcha. Well, amidst all these price increases for Xbox, they've increased the price of Series X and S twice this year. They just increased the price of Game Pass Ultimate. Now it's sounding like their next console will be much more expensive. Sony has just knocked $125 off the PS5 on a limited time deal, I think running through Halloween.
Really?
So yeah, you can get $125 off the PS5 digital or the Slim version right now. So that's a great deal. I mean, if anyone out there has been...
Knock it off of the Pro and I'll get a Pro. Knock it off of the Pro and I'll get a Pro, Sony. Do it.
On the fence about a PS5, now is the time. Max, what's going on with this? It's not even Black Friday.
Right? I love to do all my Christmas shopping before Halloween. Totally normal way to do that. Yeah, this is odd. It also, in traditional Sony fashion, hasn't been properly communicated much. Right. So it would be cool if this was a more permanent price cut, if they did that, because it would remind me of, not to be too nostalgic, but of previous console generations where, games consoles got less expensive over time. But yeah, I mean, remains to be seen if, at the very least, the upside to them really raising the price so much on a permanent level is that they look like such a good guy when they do, like, hey, we're having a crazy sale. This is great. It's, cool.
It's a good harbinger for actual Black Friday too. If they're doing this kind of sale now, it means there's probably a good chance they're going to do something as good or better come Black Friday.
Yeah. Viewers, listeners, if you've been wanting a PS5, right now is the time to buy direct from PlayStation. I think there's just a special code you have to input at checkout. A little search for that. Okay, we've got a new poll to vote on for our next episode. What's the scariest video game horror franchise? Next episode will be going live on Halloween, so that'll be good to discuss them. Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Five Nights at Freddy's, Dark Pictures, and beating Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is Terminator 2D. No Fate, the new sort of run-and-gun Contra-style Terminator game that has
what's going on?
And beating Call of... Share the results with you next episode, just like we can with last week's episode. What's your most anticipated November 2025 game? Okay. And beating...
All right. We're good here. Post the comments down below. Let me know what y'all thought. If you enjoyed my thoughts on this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!